Hello, welcome to 1011K. I am your host, Mike Lopez. And as you can see, a lot has changed since the last episode. Getting our aesthetic out. I apologize for the shot of my kitchen, but unfortunately, that's how the camera angle is going to work for right now. But since our last episode, there has been a lot that has gone on. So we're going to just, rather than sugarcoat it, we're going to just jump right in, get down to the nitty gritty, and make it so we can go over the really big news that has happened in the last 6 months. Okay, so biggest announcement was at 8 p.m. Eastern on January 29th, news broke that Billie Jean King Enterprises and the Mark Walter Group decided that they were going to purchase the PHF. With the purchase, every contract that was signed by PHF players at that time were null and void. Okay. Per the press release, the Mark Walter Group plans on making one league happen via a new league come January 2024, meaning everything that was the PHF that existed before June 29th is no longer, is done, is gone. If you've been following, paying attention into the women's hockey landscape, this is not news to you. We're just going over it for those who are just little on it, haven't been following as much, and are just trying to get caught up on everything. Okay, with this, PHF players learned PHF players learned about the voiding of their contracts and the dissolution of the league via a Zoom call. Uh, Roughly around the same time that it was made public that the league was folding. The Boytons, who owned 4 of the 7 teams, will continue in the new league in some capacity. It has not been released to the public. It is unknown. We just were told that they're going to continue in some capacity. What that means? Eh. Former PHF Commissioner Reagan Carey will join the league in some management capacity. From what I heard, a lot of the national team members are not happy with this because she was one of the negotiators when in 2017, I'm going to say 17, 18, when the National League boycotted the Women's World in hopes to get a better contract. That contract came in the 11th hour, and everything was, games were played as scheduled. Also, part of leadership is Jana Hefford. She's in a leadership role in the league. Part of one of the figureheads and the board of directors is Stan Casson. Some sports fans should know, especially if you follow Major League Baseball. He is one of the owners of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He also seems to, as of this point, as of this recording, be one of the major figureheads, kind of the one that usually puts out, when there's a press conference, he does most of the talking for the league. Because if you couldn't tell, we are very big PHF fans here at 1011 Care. We're going to be putting together a tribute video as soon as we get settled. Please be on the lookout for that, and we'll see how this league goes from there. The PHL, or Professional Women's Hockey League, was officially launched on August 29th, 2003. The league announced there would be 6 teams in the following locations: Boston, Minnesota, New York, Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto. As of this recording, there are no names for the team. They're all just PWHL city name. Per Stan Katzen, teams should have names by the start of the season. However, they may not necessarily have logos. There's a lot of, talk that it's probably just going to be like very simple, very basic jerseys and what have you for when the league starts. It was also announced that there would be limited free agency between September 1st and September 10th, with full free agency starting after the draft. Um, per the rules, in order to be eligible for free agency, you have to have at least signed up for the draft, meaning you could have gone undrafted, but as long as you signed up, you were able to be a free agent. You were in the free agent pool. Kind of similar to how the old CWHL rules were, where you could sign up for a draft and you would sign up for a draft, you would name where you wanted to go, and then had the chance of being drafted. If you weren't drafted, because as long as you signed up, you were eligible to be signed as a free agent. In accordance with the CBA, which had been hashed out by the then PWHPA leaders roughly around the same time the folding of the PHF was announced. Teams were allowed to sign three players, not three tendies. That would be nice. 3 players to a 3-year contract during that limited free agency. Among the tendies who were signed were during limited free agency were Emirates Massmeyer, who went to Ottawa, Henry Devienne, who went to Montreal, and Aaron Frankel, who went to Boston. There have been, since the draft, there have been more signings, and we will do that in the next episode. We'll go over every player who was signed, whether they were free agent, what have you. Every tendie that was signed, and whether or not they were free agent, and what have you. The inaugural PWHL draft took place on September 18th. To be eligible to be drafted, like I said earlier, you had to register for the draft. Out of over 200 potential draftees, 43 tendies registered for potentially 12, maybe 18 spots. Tendies that registered include Amanda Levier, Emma Soderberg, Elaine Chuley, Abby Levy, Corinne Schroeder, and Nicole Hensley. The draft was held at CBC headquarters in Toronto, with the draft order chosen beforehand. Minnesota got the first pick. I have a list of the draft order. Actually, speaking of the draft order, I will show it in a moment. The draft was 15 rounds, and it went in snaking order. So kind of like a fantasy draft per se. So basically, it was one team drafted. They went 1 through 6, and then the 6th team drafted first spot in the second round, and so on and so forth until they went through all 90 picks. And here is said draft order. When all was said and done, the following tendies were drafted by PWHL teams. For Boston, Emma Soderberg. For Minnesota, Nicole Hensley and Amanda Levier. For New York, Corinne Schroeder and Abby Levy. Or Levy. I'll confirm that. I'm pretty sure it's Abby Levy. For Ottawa, Sandra Abstrider. And for Toronto, Kristen Campbell. Recently, we've seen 3 tendies do their best Manon Rameau impersonation. Starting with, on August 24th, 16-year-old Rhea Stewart made her debut in net for the Cape Breton Eagles of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. So basically, that's low-level junior hockey. Rhea stopped all 24 of the shots that she faced during her 30 minutes of ice time, and unfortunately, it appears that she is no longer on the roster as of this recording. 6 days later, in an exhibition game featuring Lulela's SHL team, versus a Finnish team. I'm not sure if it was the national team or one of their Liga teams. Called up Sarah Grahn to fill a roster spot. The SHL team was down two goalies due to injury, so they called up Gran and their J20 or Junior 20 team, Tendy. With 5 minutes left in the second, Gran was called to go between the pipes. Gran proceeded not to give up a goal for the rest of the game until both teams went to a shootout. Now, when she entered the game, Lulea was losing 4-2. They came back to tie it, only to lose in the shootout. Gran became the first woman ever to play in an SHL game, and afterwards she stated that this was a dream of hers that she had since she was a little kid. So congratulations, Sarah, for fulfilling your dream. It was announced that former Butte, Whale, and AIK attendee Mariah Fujimagari had been signed to a pro tryout contract with the Kalamazoo Wings of the ECHL. I apologize, my mouth is not working today. Fujimagari played the third period and overtime for the Kalamazoo Wings, in which leading them to a 3-2 overtime victory. She did give up 3 goals on 17 shots, but she was named the third star of the game, and was the first woman in franchise history to enter a game and earn the first victory for the franchise. First woman to earn a victory for the franchise. Even though she was lauded on social media, the Wings did this grand promotion and grand celebration of her game. She was cut the very next business day because that's how men's hockey seems to go. We're going to stop the salt. All right. On November 14th, Naomi, I'm going to screw this up, I apologize. Bakler becomes the first woman Tendy to play for the Las Vegas Thunderbirds of the USPHL Premier Division. Basically, the American version of juniors, so it's basically high school age children trying to harness their talent so they can be scouted by colleges and what have you. I believe Buechler is going to Yale, but do not quote me on that. I believe she's a Yale committed to Yale, but do not quote me on that. Bakler got the start and made 21 saves out of 25 shots to earn her first victory, and become the first woman to do so in the USPHL Premier Division. Also, she is still on the roster as of this recording, so congratulations, and we need more teams like the Vegas Thunderbirds to, when you sign a woman goalie, making sure it's not just a promotional thing. After 94 international games, Caroline Lambert of France played her final international game on April 11th during the Women's World Championship. It was a game against Sweden. I was there. There was a nice little celebration for it afterwards. And congratulations, Caroline. Best of luck in wherever you go next and whatever you do next. Former Buffalo Butte attendee Lovisa Bernson has signed on with another name I'm going to screw up, Sodertale SK of the Nationale Dem Hockey League, basically the league below the SDHL. Okay. Blanka Skladova of the Czech national team, originally playing for HIFK of the NASA Liga, has since signed on with AIKA of the SDHL. HIKA is currently in the bottom of the standings of the SDHL and have had Tendy issues all season. The signing is in hopes to get her turn the team around and salvage their season. Jenna Savalainen of Kiko Espo of the National League unfortunately announced her retirement at the beginning, prior to the start of the season. Her retirement is due to lingering concussion issues that she received last year and have not since have continued to stay with her. Again, best of luck in retirement, Jenna. We wish you well, and we hope you for a speedy recovery. On October 19th, former Team Canada, CWHL, and PWHL Tendy, Genevieve Lacasse, announced her retirement from hockey. It was also announced that she would be taking a role in the newfound PWHL front office, though what that role is has not been specifically announced. I believe it's like fan interaction from what I've heard. Again, I haven't seen anything confirmed on their site, but that's what I believe. Lacasse also spent the summer, she married longtime Team Canada player and former Calgary Inferno player, and Tendy, Emirates Mashmeyer. So, best of luck to you, Genevieve, in whatever your role is in the PWHL. On November 1st, former Connecticut Whale Tendy, Mary Risanen, announced that she had signed with the Gladiators HD of the 2nd Division in Finland. This is a men's team. According to Risanen, the deal is for the whole season, and the reason that she took it was because it's closer to home, so it makes it a lot easier for her to, have a base of operations. Two teams left their respective leagues in the offseason, while one gained entry into their top level. So in April, Luco of the NASA League announced that they were dissolving their team. Let me rephrase that. Luco announced they were dissolving their NASA League team. Citing difficulties in recruiting and retaining players, the team withdrew from the league at the end of the season, stating they would be continuing their youth program. Players who believed the team that could be salvaged were not consulted before the decision was made. And because, as you heard earlier, I want to be a little salty, Luco's counterparts in the men's league are still active. Shenzhen KRS of the Zensai Hockey League withdrew from the league after the 2023 championship. The stated reason is to focus on developing the game domestically, so with the desire to return to the Group A division in the IIHF and qualify for the Olympics outside of the hosting year. The newfound Chinese Hockey League will be playing a tournament-style season. So teams will be ranked, they'll be play, and then there will eventually be a winner. Okay. I believe some international players, so some former PHF players, some PWHP players, maybe even some SCHL and Sky Hockey League players, etc., are eligible. However, goalies cannot have, teams cannot have a goalie as one of their import players. Established in 2022 with the Frölunda HC was put together with the intent of joining the SDHL. In their lone season in the NDHL, the team completely dominated, going 21-0 while outscoring opponents 244 to 7. With an all-star caliber roster, Frölunda cruised their way to the NDHL title and easily gained promotion into SDHL. The team will be taking the place of Göteborg HC, who folded earlier in the year. Unfortunately, we are going to be ending this episode on a sad note. On August 20th, four members of the Gustavus Adolphus team were involved in a two-vehicle accident. Gustavus Tendy, Jory Jones, was one of the players involved. Unfortunately, she did not survive her injuries. The 19-year-old helped Gustavus win their first Division III national championship last March. After a team meeting, the team has decided to play the upcoming season in Jory's memory. Rest in peace, Jory, and stick taps to you.